Okay, we're going to look at some unusual features and LoseThos. We'll go to the kernel source code directory, and there happens to be a file on interrupts. And this has a feature I want to show you. You see this blue entry? That's a macro. And what that does is it does whatever text you want. It sends to a new spawned shell in a pop-up window, and it executes that text. So in this case, it does a grep, and then it does a view. We just looked at it by hitting Control T. Control T toggles plain text in regular mode. Now, if we click on it, it does a grep. And in this case, we wanted to direct the attention of whoever's reading the source code to look where this entry is executed, just as a convenience. Now you see it's blue because it's a macro, and the red ones are links. Just in this case, it's to a symbol. Anyway, that's consistent with the command line. These red ones are links to files, and these blue ones are macros, which change directory and then do a directory. So for directories, it will list a directory, and you can see it's consistent with the with your main menu, your main personal menu, as blue and red as well. And now we'll go look at some other features of the LoseThos text files. They have superscripts and subscripts, and blinking and underlined, inverted, and widgets like a button. Now if we run this, you can see it sent it to the command line. See, this is the command line. Anyway, so you can also put superscripts and subscripts in labels, and the compiler understands them. So if you want to do that, you can do that. I don't advise it. It just doesn't seem like a good idea. But if you want to do extended characters, that's for ASCII or for codes 128 to 255. You can put extended characters in labels, and the compiler will understand them. So we just did a little smiley face. Anyway, so you can also put graphics in source code, and you can send it to the command line. So like in this case, this program runs and it sends some graphics to the command line. So those are just some unusual features. Okay, now we're gonna put some graphics on the command line. These are vector graphics. We'll put a color red, width 5. I'm gonna make a smiley face. You can it's kind of like doing graffiti on the command line. Now the sidebar with the vector commands can be edited with the clipboard. So for example, we can position and put another width in here, and then let's look at it. Okay, now the bottom one is wider. Now if we can come and move them on the clipboard so that only one is wide. See, kind of a fat lip or something. Anyway, now we're going to take this from off the command line, cut, and put it into a file. Now it's we have to reposition it. We'll set the origin, and let's see. Anyway, now let's take a look at the format that this is stored in real quick. Edit as text. Here's the color, the width, circle, line, width. This is the raw data. You can modify this by hand if you want. We'll make the width 5 or 10. Now it's all wide. Anyway, the reason I did that, we want to look at the this file is stored uncompressed because it ends in a CPP and not a CPZ. So if we do a directory to convert it to compressed or uncompressed, you just do a copy or a move and change the last letter from Z to P, or vice versa. Now let's look at you can access disk blocks yourself directly with we just did a full directory which shows the cluster numbers, and we're gonna display a cluster. Here's the ASCII data, and then here's the raw text, the raw binary for the vector graphics. Anyway, now if you use another parameter on this dump cluster, you can edit it and then write it. So everything is accessible on the disk. You can access any block you want. Now you can also access any memory you want. And one interesting thing is the task record for the current task. FS holds, that's the FS segment register. It holds the current address of the current task record. You can see the task record is also shown up here on when you're at the command line. So we're going to dump. There's a command that lets you display a record, and it accesses the compiler's task structure. It accesses the compiler's information and lets you edit it. We can change the left window coordinate and change it to 5, 1. Anyway, the command line has a dynamic LTFD. Is a dynamic dump that shows data live in memory. We can modify it, or anyway,